Okay, Yves, how are you? Thank you so much for being one of our illustrious judges on the Festival of Media APAC Awards this week. How was the experience? And most importantly, how was it being the chair of the jury?
Yeah, I have to say thank you because it was my first experience both as jury and as chairman, and I loved it. I really loved it. It's tough because it's difficult not to jump into the conversation with passion and to influence as much as you can what the other jurors think. But it's really great because it's full of learning, full of very high quality discussions, and of course the material is fantastic. So as a marketeer, being part of a jury where you have a good representation of the media world was extremely rich for me because it was a good opportunity to hear and see how other people look at creatives and at what's happening in terms of advertising. So only good things to say. Exhausting, especially because you do it remotely, but really, really good. Very positive.
Excellent. That's great to hear. Look, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can get back into the live space for judging, because I think you're absolutely right. It does work in the virtual world, but it's not as good as being in the real space where you can have those accidental conversations, talk to people while you're having a water break, a lunch break. It misses that element. But it's great to hear that you enjoyed the experience, I have to say. And on the back of that, and just picking up on something you said, in terms of the work, did you feel that the work was of an excellent standard, and also that it represented fully the APAC region?
No, it was. It was. And I was very pleased to see countries like Myanmar being represented and to have really a diversity of entries from different countries. Some of them with a high production cost, some of them obviously with lower production cost, but all of them with a very high quality. I was particularly surprised with the quality of insights, powerful most of the time, not to say all the time, and with the quality in terms of branding. I mean, I've seen only a few campaigns that were maybe off strategy for the brand, meaning that I didn't see lots of campaigns that were super creative, but totally off strategy for the brand. And the brand work was remarkable. The asset work was remarkable, so it was very impressive for me. And again, to see local brands with smaller budgets doing fantastic work and being capable of breaking through with limited budget gave me a lot of ideas for my brands that have more money, but not always the same creative approach.
And that's brilliant to hear. I mean, I was going to ask you, what was the kind of key takeouts you got? Was there any kind of key trends or insights that you saw, or a piece of inspiration that kind of completely blew your mind and you thought, wow, that is so clever, so creative?
No, I've seen lots of advertising tapping into the local culture. So there is one category about local culture, but you could see that across. I mean, the ability of some international brand to adapt to the local requirements and to the local culture was really remarkable. The management of the whole funnel as well. Lots of campaigns that were not only about awareness, but that managed perfectly well the A, the I, the P, the L of the funnel in a way that was fully integrated and very often data-driven. Obviously data-driven. Of course, you don't always see it, but it's very obvious that it was the case. And to build on that one, it was as interesting to read the case studies as to watch the case studies, because the content of the document was of a very high quality, with very well crafted case study, insight-wise, results-wise, KPIs-wise. So, I mean, I don't know if people will who did those case studies will listen to me, but I would say great job, absolutely great job.
They definitely will. They'll be there in the audience. Don't you worry about that. That's without a doubt. Was there any kind of one campaign that kind of completely surprised you in a lovely way, or anything that kind of you thought, wow, that really hits the nose on every part of the criteria?
Yes, that always during the discussion we had yesterday, that I would love to tell those guys how moved and touched I was by their campaign. It was the Unsaid campaign from New Zealand. Absolutely stunning. First, because I must say I cried when I watched it yesterday.
Wow.
But not only that, it's because it was spot on. The idea, the creative idea, the execution, the impact it had on the Kiwi society, the way it's been done, despite the very difficult topic, meaning the number of people dying on the road because of drug, and the fact that nobody was talking about it. To me, it deserves a Grand Prix. Absolutely stunning, superb execution again, and congratulations to this team. Very impressive.
Okay, wow, that sounds good. I mean, I feel the standard of work, in spite of the pandemic, which actually may well have had a reason as to why it got so creative. I feel the standard this year was extremely high. And is that something you noticed? Could you tell that actually so much more time had gone into the creative and the innovation of the ideas?
Yes. Yes, I think COVID, and I can talk from my personal experience as well. We did things that we didn't think were possible, like shooting an advertising behind the screen. And you could tell across all the entries that some of the brands had to push their thinking to the extreme to find solutions in terms of budget, in terms of insights, in terms of shooting, in terms of technology as well, that maybe they would not have thought about without COVID crisis. So I really hope the industry standards will go up and will stay up. They went up and they will stay up thanks to this crisis. And I see it. And I think as well, it's forcing the brands to be more authentic. So to be less about easy advertising, or like, many people, when they ask me what I'm doing, I say marketing, they are like, ooh, that's not good. And to force marketers to become more authentic and to develop advertising that is not only about awareness, but about improving the life of people. And you could tell during the looking at the different piece of work that we've seen, that there is a lot of purpose and a lot of authentic purpose, meaning campaigns meant to change the world and to make it a better place.
That's brilliant. I mean, that's fantastic, and something that we definitely have seen across all 4 judging sessions this week. I think it was very obvious that brands had gone to great depths to create campaigns that had a feel or gave back to communities or to society at large, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So I have to say to you, would you recommend the judging experience for your peers?
No. Yes, of course I would. No, of course I would. I think everybody should do it. Any marketer, especially the ones with a lot of experience, who sometimes think they know, should enter that kind of competition or process with a lot of humility. I repeat it, I've learned a lot listening to the other members of the jury. I've been impressed by a brand that, I must confess, sometimes I didn't know. And some brand that obviously, again, I insist, didn't have the huge budget that sometimes we have in a large corporation. So I left the room stronger in terms of marketing and re-energized. Not that I was not energized, but even more energized because I've seen brilliant ideas. I've seen a lot of creativity in places that I was not expecting. I've seen local brands leveraging technology better than we do. So it was a super positive challenge. And again, I insist, listening to all the members of the jury was a pleasure. And looking at the way, even when you are in the marketing seat, sometimes the discussion with the agency is not easy because you don't understand each other, because you don't always speak the same language. Yesterday, I've heard the language of the people working in different functions in the agency or in big companies. And I think today, I'm not bilingual, but I've understand my fluency. And I've improved my fluency, and I'm very happy. So definitely, it's a big yes. Anybody in marketing having the opportunity to become a jury of such a competition should do it.
Fabulous. And you talked, which is brilliantly, very eloquently throughout this interview, about how good the standard of work was. Does that mean if you've won a gold trophy this year, you really have something that's very special and that the judges set a really high bar?
Yes, Yes, yeah, there is even one category where we didn't want to give a gold trophy because we want the gold trophy to really mean something. So it doesn't mean that the work we've seen was not good, but all the gold trophies we've given, we gave them because the quality was really high. So they are all very well deserved and are somehow showing the high quality of the work that has been done. So yes, it's very meaningful.
Fabulous. Well, thank you very much, Yves. Thank you for giving up your Friday. I hope to see you on Thursday, where you can see all of the winners, the ones you chose, plus the ones that the other juries chose. It should be fairly entertaining and only take an hour, so it should be good.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Yves.
You're welcome. Thank you.